Hi, my name is Rosario, and I want to share some stories about duendes with you. Here's one that I found from Reddit by The Truth Is Here. My dad told me a story recently that I've been wanting to share. This is from back when he was a kid in Mexico. When my dad was a kid, he and my grandpa went to my grandpa's land to prepare the soil for planting crops. Bored, my dad wandered off to a nearby stream where he saw a bunch of human-like dolls playing around in the water. He said they looked like adults, only smaller, with proportions like dolls. They splashed around in the water, and at times it looked like they were even walking on it. They signaled at him to come and play with them, and my dad ran over excitedly. He said he played with them for a while when my grandpa noticed that he had wandered off and went to find him. When my grandpa found my dad seemingly playing alone by the stream, getting all wet, he got super mad and dragged him away. Apparently, my grandpa and grandma were never able to see the duendes whenever my dad would point them out. My dad still recalls looking back while my grandpa yanked him away and seeing the duendes waving goodbye at him. After that, my dad started seeing the duendes around the house. They pop out from behind walls during dinner, and my dad would try to feed them scraps of food, much to my grandpa's annoyance. Eventually, they got worried and took him to a local curandera. She did a little ritual and told him to keep a cigarette behind his ear for a week, and then the duendes were gone. He never saw them again. My dad swore it's all true, even though no one believes him, and he's embarrassed about even telling the story. The only reason he told me it was because my mom teased him about it the other day, and I forced it out of him. I love these kinds of stories and really wanted to share. Here's another story from High Strangeness. My mom was a child in Nicaragua when this happened. I don't know the exact age, but she was young. She was using a bathroom, and it was a sort of public restroom. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it was a different time, so I'm not sure how their village's public bathroom worked. But she said she was using the bathroom, and suddenly, in the stall next to her, little feet appeared. They were peeking out from under the stall, and the rest of the body was cut off because of the wall, but she could tell it was very small. I know it may sound dumb, but she described the shoes and feet as little leprechaun feet. Little brown shoes, small feet, and short legs. She said it started talking to her and calling her name. It knowing her name had already freaked her out, first of all. But that wasn't that bad until it started laughing and saying stuff about her and her family that only she would know. Then it started asking her to follow it, and at that point she realized it was probably malicious and trying to hurt her or do something bad. She didn't stay to find out though. She said she ran out of the bathroom and didn't look back. It was still crackling, laughing as she ran out too. She went and told the people who at the time were taking care of her, and they said they knew what it was and to just ignore it or stay away. Anytime my mom tells a story, I can tell she is very scared when recounting it. She actually gets kind of mad at me when I ask her to tell me the story because she hates thinking about it. This is an encounter. This happened to me about 4 years ago. I was coming home from work one day. It was around 6 to 6:30. And here in Canada, in the winter months, it's nighttime at this point. I was driving home, streetlights are on, and nothing unusual, except as I was leaving work, I saw what looked to me like a little boy in my rear view mirror, about, I'd say, 50 feet behind me in the middle of the parking lot. Kind of strange, but I didn't pay any attention to it. And as I was driving home, I saw the same kid, or at that point, I thought it was a different kid about 3 blocks from where my work is. And he was just staring at me as I drove by. I had a slight chill, and I tried not to think much of it, but it was creepy. I only lived about 7 minutes from my work, so it doesn't take me long to get back home. I didn't see him again until I was about 2 blocks away. This time he was under a street lamp. So I got a better look at this kid, and to my surprise, I didn't see him again until I was about 2 blocks away. This time he was under a street lamp. So I got a better look at this kid, and to my surprise, it was not a kid at all. In Mexico, we call these creatures duendes. They are usually small fairy-like creatures with the appearance of an old man. Their heights do vary, but I myself have never seen one to be the size of a child. He looked exactly like an old man as I drove past him. About to turn the corner, I was freaking out at this point, and I just wanted to get home. This thing was following me. As I was on approach to turn the last corner of my house, there he was again. I slammed on my brakes because there it was in front of my car, just crossing the street. It looked up at me, and he was walking past my car and gave me the most evil grin I had ever seen. I was about ready to run him over with my car, but I was frozen in place. As soon as he was on the other side of the street, I gunned it home. But I took one final glance in my rear view mirror to see if he was still behind me. It was gone. It wasn't on the other side of the street or anything. I didn't care, but I was so frightened. I got home, got out of my car, and looked around to see if it was nearby. I was fortunate enough not to see it again. I made sure to look down the street both ways before going into my house. I got in, locked the door, closed the curtain, and tried to forget what I saw. Even my wife knew something had spooked me. I didn't tell her till the following day. I didn't want to scare her at the time. I hope I don't see it again. Me too. I hope. Okay, so I am bilingual. My mom taught me how to read and write in Spanish, and Spanish is actually my first language. But I don't really practice reading Spanish too much, so I feel like a kid when I read it. But let's see how this one goes. Así empieza. En el pueblo donde crecí, escuché varias historias sobre niños pequeños que vivían en el monte. La mamá de un amigo nos platicó una vez que cuando él era pequeño, llegaron unos niños y, asomándose por la ventana, le preguntaron a ella si estaba Edgar para jugar. Pero ella les dijo que no estaba. Los niños se fueron y ella salió a asomarse porque no los conoció y vio que tomaron camino hacia el monte. Ellos vivían en las orillas del pueblo. Le pareció muy extraño que unos niños tan pequeños se fueran solos por ahí. Luego le dijo a su hijo y se los describió. Pero él le dijo que no los conocía. Mi abuela también me contó que cuando era pequeña vivía en el monte, literal. Tenían una cabaña en el ciruelar de mi bisabuelo. Ella me contó que en las noches, en unas 3 ocasiones, llegaron unos niños. Dice que no tenían ropa y eran pequeños y que tomaban las bandejas y las golpeaban como para hacer ruido y ellos los corrían. Mi esposa me contó que su abuelo le platicó que había unos niños en el monte. Él vivía en el otro pueblo, a unos 2 horas en el auto del primer pueblo del que les hablé, por la sierra en Sinaloa, ya en los límites con Durango. Bueno, le contó que a veces llegaban unos niños cuando él estaba sembrando maíz. Sembraba a mano en una parcela pequeña alejada del pueblo. Dice que los niños ayudaban a sembrar y les compartía comida de la que llevaban. No sé si sean duendes. Ellos siempre se referían a ellos como niños. ¿Ustedes qué piensan? A mí esas historias se me hacen bien interesantes. I wonder if you could hear the dogs outside. So it's not just Nala, it's also 2 other dogs, my brother's dogs. They're playing. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these stories about duendes. If you guys have any stories, please feel free to share with me. You could email me at artesmuertos@gmail.com. And I would like to make videos in Spanish and English. Entonces, si tienen historias, por favor, me los pueden mandar en mi email, mi correo electrónico, artesmuertos@gmail.com, gmail.com. See, I could translate. It just takes me a while sometimes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please follow, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully Nala stays longer, and I'm not just here with the pillow puppy. And are you guys starting to feel the spooky season? I feel it all year long, but I especially feel it July, even though it's hot, and especially August. I cannot wait for fall and for the spooky season to start. But until we get there, I'll still be sharing scary stories. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.